Hello, everyone, and welcome to Valley Strange. We're going to be talking about some more strange news. It's the strange news for March. You may not think it, but there's a lot of strange stuff still going on.
Always
People,
some weird.
yeah, it's always just weird stuff, and we want to relay that to you. And I'm here with Roland. Say hello, Roland. All right,
Hello.
we're going to get started with the show. All right. Here we go. Can you see what I was doing?
No.
Okay.
No,
All right,
no.
cool. All right. I was having a good time. We're starting a show. It's always
Oh, you
fun,
were all right.
I was doing my thing. I was doing my thing.
A little bit of this. It's cool. Nobody
A little
saw
bit of
that.
this, a little bit of that. So today we have a few fun things to go over. Again, we'd like to keep it somewhat brief for those listening. Our first article, our first little story that we're gonna go over is that anything new, people in the valley. I know myself, Roland. I'm pretty sure you like this as well. We're always looking for some kind of new evidence of the paranormal, ghosts, cryptids, and according to this article or this subreddit, High Strangeness, which you found, Roland.
Oh yeah, it's a fun one. It's quite a few.
It's a ghost captured by a truck driver on a highway in Arizona, March 11th of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see the video whenever we do play it here.
Sure.
Um,
Or not, you can always go find it yourself. Like we
well,
said,
we'll have a link. We'll have a link below so you can check that out as well.
it's a subreddit for fun.
So we're gonna play this and see if it's a ghost or not. I'm gonna full screen it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fast forward this nonsense here.
We don't need this. This part's. Ooh.
I see a person. Oh, there it is.
That
Pass right
it?
by. Pass right by.
Damn. There we go.
So quick,
It's just a little guy.
As I'm watching this, I kind of looked at it a few times. Mind you, I was looking at it on my phone, so I was seeing it
Yeah.
in a much smaller screen.
Uh-huh.
I can't tell if it's something that appears or is it that the light is shining because like the light's pretty bright
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it is.
it's off to the side and it just seems like it kind of appears as he's passing by.
It does seem like some kind of weird glare reflection, but you can see through it, right? It's
Yeah, it
trans
does look translucent, transparent, whatever. Yeah.
and it looks like it might have had like some like legs or something, some sort of very
It kind of
straightforward
looked like
thing.
legs that were just walking on their own, minus a torso.
Oh, like the what was that fucking cryptid or whatever that's just like the pair of legs walking. I forgot
I don't
what
know.
that
Is that what kind of cryptid is that?
I forgot the name of it, but it was some like spooky something or another video somebody got. I think it was like the New England area or something. I'm probably
Mhm.
way the hell off, but like it just looks like a white pair of pants, just like walking. I
Well,
figure you can see.
that's kind of what this looks like a little bit.
No, well, yeah. Excuse me, yeah. It does look a little funky though. I don't know.
It doesn't seem like I said. It seems like it has two legs for sure, but
Uh,
it doesn't seem like it has anything past like the waist area, or even if it has like two extra legs, like it's a four-legged creature or something.
oh, yeah, right. If it's stacked on all fours, well, I mean, we couldn't tell. It's just
Right.
It did look so again. Like if it isn't a flat out reflection, which I kind of, it does look a little too like isolated, like on its own. Like
Yeah.
to seem like it's some sort of reflected surface. Um, but it's kind of hard to tell what else it could be other than like like just some
Right. Well, I mean, we're pretty much just speculating on what it can possibly be because it's so quick. It is
yeah.
night, and we're just going off the
So
light of the headlights.
I think when we were watching it play there, I didn't see it get any brighter necessarily as the car like it came into focus. It came into focus. It like appeared,
Yeah.
and then like as the car passes by, like like I would have expected it to get brighter as the lights got closer to it. I mean,
Right,
like,
right, but it
yeah,
just seems
I
like
think
it like,
it's
that's why I said it just seems like it appears because I would
yeah,
imagine you could have seen it at a further distance
yeah.
getting brighter, but as it got closer, I mean, it just looked more transparent as it passed by. Now, is there a huge piece of dust that could be that that big on the side of the road?
Yeah,
Maybe. Um,
I don't know. It's just
what
a
kind of animal, I mean, unless it's like a really malnourished, like a
uh,
bobcat or something.
yeah. It would have to be kinda tall, I don't know. I thought it was either a very short person or a fairly tall animal.
Well, a fairly short person with no torso, it appeared, or
Yeah,
or maybe some kind of odd cryptid that is kind of, coming in and out of dimensions. A duende, perhaps?
it's, I was trying to think of a joke, but no. Like, nah. I got
And of course, if you do know, duendes are somewhat of a they're creatures that can be pretty much anything,
yeah,
and
that's
in this case,
probable.
I mean, they can kinda be interdimensional, they could just be some kind of translucent figure, maybe, possibly. There's no real definite answers, but that's what makes this so much fun to research and look at
Sure.
because there really is no definite answer for a lot of these things. So you kind of leave your mind to wonder and speculate on on like what it could possibly be.
It's
And from my own eyes, watching the video, um, seems it could be something supernatural or paranormal,
maybe,
some kind of
unless they, Photoshop that shit in there or something, I don't know. You can do it on your app now.
yeah. I mean, honestly, that's a lot of nonsense to Photoshop, but even I mean, it could be like a half-ass Photoshop job or, something you superimpose in there, but I think it would take time with the
I
keyframe,
was
light right, all that kinda stuff.
Yeah, I
Who
was
knows?
watching a video not too long ago inside of this family inside their apartment, and, you see like a tricycle or something being dragged across, like, slowly across the floor and in the living room, and then but the thing is as well is in front of it, you see kind of like a person-shaped blob, but it's transparent, but, you just see, like a sort of like a figure,
Right.
and the idea was that, like, okay, the guy fucked up his keyframe somewhere, and, that's why you can see it because it's just some asshole in, like, a a fucking green man suit or whatever, and, or it's, uh, a shadowy figure, but,
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the easiest thing to fake is a
yeah,
shadow figure.
I'm thinking it's an asshole. I was thinking it was an asshole in a green screen, suit or whatever, so
Well, I'm pretty sure at some point or another, we can go through a lot of those, paranormal TikTok videos or
oh, this
YouTube
that's what
videos, like, to look and see the evidence that people have. Because
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of shows out there on YouTube,
Oh, they're
a lot
great.
of them that do, like, compilations of, like, ghost stuff, which I
Oh
watch all the time.
yeah, me too.
I enjoy watching them, whether they're bullshit
I
or not.
can for the most part, like, I do get a little discouraged when I have to listen to some crazy ass, ghost hunting intro kinda thing. There's this one guy, I think he's even got his own soundtrack. So I'm just like, "Nope, that's cool, dude. This ain't your mixtape. I just wanna see the film,
Well, I
um,
mean, we're thankful for those compilations because, I mean, it's kind of a
yeah.
gonna find
Oh,
all
you
the
mean like Chills and, I forget what other ones. Yeah, there are a few
I
of
mean,
top 5,
I
top 10.
mentioned this before is that there's a lot of TikTok content creators out there who go to, like, abandoned buildings
Mhm.
they just turn on the light on their phone and just go for it, and they're, like, live streaming and shit, and,
Oh,
I'm have more I'm more apprehensive to do something like that because more so I'm realistic on who or what could be there, and I'm not talking about a fucking ghost. I'm talking about squatters
yeah, I don't wanna get stabbed.
looking like, stab me, I don't
Uh,
wanna infiltrate someone's living space, and if they're
right.
on some kind of,
Step in shit.
if they're inebriated in some way or, like, off their little rocker, and then they're gonna, like, fucking attack
Mhm.
me, because I'm pretty sure it's happened before, and I'm not one to believe that I can outrun one of those things.
Nope.
Me knowing me, I'm gonna
Yeah,
fall, I'm gonna hurt myself,
yeah.
and then I'm gonna get stabbed in the ass probably.
And I mean, like, if I'm there with you, I'm just gonna make sure that I'm faster than you are. So
Well, obviously,
all I got
it's
to
every
worry
man's for
about.
himself.
Because I
But
mean, like,
motherfucker,
unless we
I can see you jumping out of a window on the second story that has no glass. Just not
oh,
even thinking, just fucking
look at that.
go.
Wow! That's a fucking break both my legs. You just, like,
Hey, at
walk
least you're out of the building, right?
upstairs.
At least you're
Yeah,
out of the building.
yeah,
Um,
you'd have to trip me first, Ray. That's how it
well, I
works.
mean, we've considered numerous times going into like that the old high school here in San Benito.
I think it's still gonna happen. I mean,
I
nobody
mean, we could try.
I,
I would try
I
to do,
would
but
like to
mind you,
do
I
a
won't go by myself. Is what I'm trying
no,
to
of
say.
course, there's no fun. It's not fun that like that. It's just weird. Don't be one of those people.
Ah,
So I mean, like, it would be cool to maybe go with the oh, I'm blanking on their names. I'm sorry. The people that friends of the show. Um, I forgot her name. She had a really cool name. The people that invited us out to check out the Reanimator and stuff over at the Gremlin.
oh, the evil by default people.
Mhm.
Well, they're part of like their own like investigative crew as well.
I mean,
Uh,
I'd love to, check it out with them or something. See if
yeah,
they
I
would.
mean, it would be fun to do all that stuff, mind you. I don't ever want to go alone. Um,
No.
and I mean, I kind of want to have an idea of my surroundings of where I'm at. I'm not gonna go like out of town to go to some abandoned place by
Yeah,
myself.
it's on the side of the fucking
Check
road.
out. I'm not gonna fucking do that. Not even for content's sake. Not even for the clicks. I'm not gonna do it.
I used to have
Um,
some friends that would drive around middle of the night, like just about out in the sticks, and they would find and see the strangest shit at just odd hours and stuff. And I'm just like, that's fucking stupid.
Now, I wouldn't mind doing that if I had a person that we both know mutually who has guns
Right.
and
Yeah.
is just as crazy to probably do something like
They
that.
they
Now,
they can't
nowadays, probably not.
no.
But like if it was a couple years ago, probably. But
Yeah.
I would prefer to go with someone who has some weaponry,
Yeah.
just
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 push them
because
at them while we run
yeah,
away. Hey, I'll go get him, Jamie. Pa 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 pa. Why? It's dark. He fucking shoots us instead. Go
yeah.
figure.
So we'll be moving on to our next article,
Alrighty.
and that is going to be. And Roland, you found this. I always have a hard time finding some articles that are like kind of out there a little bit. But I mean, this one was kind of all over the place,
Yeah. Which one are you talking about?
and I'm talking about the Pentagon UFO chief says alien mothership is possible in our solar system, possibly.
Mm.
And this is Aname. How do you pronounce this?
I
Anomalien.
Animalian.
Anomalien.
That's what all I'm going for. It seems
Anomalien.
like they're
Anomalien.
trying to mutate or whatever for gel at was anomaly and alien together. It's okay.
Right.
So this is like
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's pretty much what they're probably doing.
probably I don't know. I've never been to this site, so I couldn't say anything to their credibility. But we did find like what at least 3 or 4 different people reporting on this. A lot of I and it and this sort of thing has been in the news for quite some time now. I want to say
Yeah.
as far as
And there are like people on YouTube already like some
Mhm.
covering this as well.
Yeah,
But I do like the name of this site. I mean, it kind of has a certain sense for Valley Strange to
yeah,
pick up some
absolutely.
stuff. But lending more credibility to this particular article is the fact that it has been covered in a lot of other credible sources.
I think oh, what was it? Military Times is another one.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure Popular Mechanics covered it. They might have. And who else? Oh, geez. Eh,
There's a lot of people. A lot of people.
who cares? It's up there. Look, just Google it, and you'll find, very, very quickly.
Right. So to get into it a little bit, it says there's a possibility that extraterrestrial motherships and smaller probes may be visiting planets in our solar system.
Mhm.
The head of the Pentagon's Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Research Office noted in a report draft shared Tuesday reports. An artificial interstellar object could potentially be a parent craft that releases many small probes during its close passage to Earth. An operational construct not too dissimilar from NASA missions. His name is Sean Kirkpatrick, director
Mhm.
of the Pentagon's All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office.
So I think that is. I was watching actually a video. This guy who usually covers politics, and I believe he covered this as well.
Mhm.
I think he said that that was the Pentagon's X Files division. So I
Well,
watched.
I know though. I think it
It was
was Nick Pope.
mhm.
I saw him speak at the Edinburgh UFO convention.
Oh
That
man,
he was a part of the like Britain's X
yeah.
Files division or something like that.
Mhm.
Um,
Do you think
but
they're
yeah,
gonna have one of those conventions this year? I really want. I really want to.
they've been having it every year. I'm not too sure if they're
Yeah.
going to have it in person or
Yeah.
however. I
Damn it.
mean, hopefully we can make it out to one this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see here. So it says Kirkpatrick, who was appointed as the director of the AARO. I won't
Mhm.
even say that. You can figure
Arrow.
it out. Yes, the Arrow,
That's
all
easier
whatever.
too.
It says it's the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say it again.
Yeah.
When it was founded in July 2022, previously served as a chief scientist at the Defense Intelligence Agency's Missile and Space Intelligence Center.
Yeah.
Now, chief
That's.
scientist of this, I mean, like, I would lend him some credibility to what he's saying.
Mhm.
Um, mind you, it could be complete. Like, I don't
I
know
mean,
what he has to gain from making this up.
right. Exactly. I
The
imagine
only
he's got more to lose for even talking about
Right,
this.
yeah, that's kinda like what I was thinking, like,
Yeah.
he would have more to lose in this sense because, I mean, if you're divulging that kind of information, it's more than likely you have, big brother ears listening to you and might
Mhm.
try to shut you up.
Maybe. And I mean, that's a stigma that's associated in most of this stuff to begin with. A lot of people always think that, oh, is my credibility. Oh no,
Right, right, right.
well,
But
why
they
not?
had, suggested this back in 2017 whenever they saw, well, there was a hold on. Oh, it was, I keep thinking I read something else here.
Mhm.
It says there was a huge object in the sky in, our solar system. They called it, this is a terrible
Oumuamua.
it's a Hawaiian name. It
I
means,
don't know.
scout, and
Mhm.
yeah, you said it I think you
I
said it more
I made
correctly.
it up. I,
It was something like, Amu Amua or something like that.
yeah,
Like,
sure.
I'm butchering it right now, but,
Ah, you know.
it's a Hawaiian term because, it was a telescope in Hawaii that spotted this first.
Mhm, mhm.
And they had suggested that it was a possible mothership with, probe capabilities. Says with
Mhm.
proper design, these tiny probes would reach the Earth and the other solar system planets for exploration. So mind you, they were like suggesting that um, there are a bunch of like mini little probes out there, kind of going around and
Yep.
scouting. Which
Probing.
I mean, those could be like those spaceships that we've been seeing all these decades and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
No, yeah, absolutely. There's no telling.
So it says the parent craft passes by within a fraction of the Earth-Sun separation, just like the Amumami did, or Mama. I'm saying Mama. Shit.
Oh,
I can't even pronounce this. Like, that's it. We're discredited completely. That's it. We're
oh
done.
no.
Stop the recording. But there's some other folks on here. People I'm not too fond of, but I mean, hey, if they're furthering this research, why not?
Yeah,
Uh,
and that's what I was talking about earlier. There are quite a few like asshole politicians that just, I guess they got nothing better to do with their fucking time, right? And actually, what am I saying? They don't.
it's
So,
either it's either to fight wokeness or to research aliens.
yeah,
I'd rather they just do the latter.
yeah,
Stay out
exactly.
of everything else.
At least this is entertaining and informative.
I'm most curious as to why Marco Rubio is like so obsessed with like this kind
Maybe
of research and stuff.
he's a believer.
Maybe he's been abducted. You know,
Uh,
maybe he was influenced by Wheatley Strieber after reading Communion, or just watching the movie and he was like Christopher Walken. He was abducted for sure.
he's a true believer, maybe. I don't know. It's to say nothing of him personally. This is amusing enough that a friggin' senator uh, is weighing in on this for some reason or another.
Well, I mean, they're the lawmakers, so
Yeah, so let's make some laws about the Greys. No, they do mention here 12 other senators sent a letter to the Deputy Secretary of Defense Kathleen Hicks and Deputy Director of National Intelligence
it's
Stacey Dixon,
it's too late for us. I'm sorry, people.
calling for full funding of the IRO.
Yeah. So I mean, it mentions here that the Biden administration's previous funding request for the fiscal year of 2023 failed to fund anything beyond the office's basic operating expenses. The lawmakers argued. So I mean, it seems like the Biden administration is not taking this seriously.
No, of
But I
course.
mean,
What
who
are you
knows?
gonna hide?
Who knows what that would be? Since they just recently shot some stuff down.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
we
They
allegedly
shut down
don't know
those
all the
three.
details.
They
So
only released details for one of the unidentified craft. I think there were three total that they popped
yeah.
down or something. I mean, aside from the first one, which so then four, but of the three, they have not released information on two of them,
So
other than to say that maybe it's some private thing or
maybe they will up the funding for it in the 2024 fiscal year.
maybe.
Whenever I don't know, like, do fiscal years start the same everywhere?
Uh,
I don't
n-
know. Like,
Probably not. I mean,
I know
I
everyone's like particular end quarter. I don't know where that ends for people. I know
oh
where that ends for places where I work, like the place where I work, but
sure.
I'm not sure how that if that is the same
Yeah,
else.
they've got their own uh different schedules there. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But
And
I
I did want to share the fact that we do have, and we'll link all these sources below. The actual draft that they wrote
physical demonstration
regarding,
of unidentified aerial phenomena.
yeah, it's a lot of sciencey talk.
Mm,
Um, but there is an abstract, and again, the abstract itself is a little above my pay grade here. Um, you can read it yourself if you like. I won't read
mhm.
it for you. But it'll like I said, it'll be linked below so you can check that out. It is still under review. It's not official yet.
Yeah.
But if you're watching on YouTube, this is what it looks like.
Mhm.
It has words and oh my god, math. Oh my
Why
god,
would you do
math.
this? It's gonna get rejected. How
Yeah,
dare they?
entirely. Look at all these references, man.
Yeah,
Damn.
I'm more interested in the references. Oh, that's
I
cool.
go, that's a lot.
That's interesting.
And you know what? If you're writing a paper, this is kind of like how to do it.
Yep.
Um,
Learn yourself.
for professional stuff. So that, yeah. What do you think about that, Roland?
I
These scientists claiming that there could be something in the sky watching us.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that seems very plausible. There's been studies done by astronomers for fucking probably longer than you and I have been alive, and I'm just happy to see them actually trying to publish something. In general, I don't care what it is has to do. If it's anything about in space, like I'm gonna probably want to know about it or check it out. Or I'd be curious because yeah, there's just so much out there. This poorly understood as our own planet is, and we're farting around in space trying to figure out what the hell's going on out there. Yeah, sure, I'm gonna want to be a little. I might be a little curious. Um,
What if they're like the aliens from Independence Day?
well, I mean, obviously we're fucked.
Well, I mean, we might be cool. I mean, because they're gonna hit major cities first, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
We might have chance to kind of. I mean, are they
At
really gonna?
first,
They're gonna come to the valley. What are they gonna destroy here that could kind of like spread out?
the border wall.
They're gonna destroy the half constructed, the partially constructed border wall.
Yeah, the joke ass friggin' um, yeah, that would be funny. Let's go bomb Brownsville.
Yeah,
Some fucking
yeah.
reason.
Let's get
And
rid of
McAllen.
that. Let's get rid of
Let's
that
get rid of
college.
McAllen. That's where all the fat people are. They can't escape, right? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Oh,
Like
you know
we're
what?
gonna destroy the
Get it.
largest building in McAllen, the Chase Building.
They're gonna come here and they're gonna want to eat tacos. They're gonna want to eat our food, and that's how we're gonna get them. We're just gonna give
You
them
know, what's gonna happen is that
easy.
they're
They're
gonna they're gonna show up, and then they're gonna open up their little portal there to kinda, like, shoot out. They're gonna
uh-huh.
be hovering over the Chase building, you know?
Oh, alright.
And then as the thing's coming up, someone's gonna throw, like, a fajita taco up there, and they're gonna be
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god," like,
And then it
"This could
turns
be
into a
fuel for
commercial.
our vehicle here." And then before you know it, it's gonna turn into Close Encounters of the Third Kind situation. They're all just gonna come out.
Yeah, we're
They're
gonna
all
have
gonna hit all the taquerias.
iguanas spread out for them and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking great.
Yeah, all the Last of Us stands are gonna come, "Cool, man, here's a
And
snow
then
cone."
we're gonna find out that it's gonna be like science, but instead of being weak to water, they're gonna be weak to like taco grease. And we're
They're all
just
gonna
gonna
start
figure
choking
that
in there.
out.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're all gonna go into anaphylactic shock. Like, somebody get an alien, get this alien an EpiPen. Fuck them.
Now, moving on. So most of you, or at least some of you who watch or have been following Valley Strange for a while, you may know that a few Halloweens ago, we did a Ouija board session.
Oh, the Luigi board. That was
Right,
fun.
we did the Ouija board. At some point or another, we'll get back to that.
Yeah, it's still out
We
there.
might try one in the abandoned building,
Ooh,
Who knows?
that sounds like a fun idea.
It does sound like a fun idea. And anyone listening to this, like, there might be some people out there who are thinking, like, "Are you fucking crazy? Like, why would you do that? Why would you summon anything in a abandoned building that could possibly or potentially have evil spirits about?
Uh,
Do you want them to possess you? Yes, possibly, maybe.
well, sure. I mean, when you're
Um, that would maybe
get up there,
allow for some kind of
be fun.
laxness in my speculative brain on certain things. I
All of a
mean,
sudden, going back to church. No.
I'm probably gonna be playing in the band again.
Yeah, there you go. Bring him back. Bring the band back. Oh, Jesus.
What brought you back to church? Uh, Playing with a Ouija board in a abandoned
Satan.
building. Like,
Just level
I was surrounded by demons everywhere.
Mm,
But sometimes playing with a Ouija board might have some dire effects, especially
yeah,
to young children out there.
yeah, yeah.
And
We
that
can't.
was the case for these 28 girls who were
Mhm.
hospitalized for anxiety.
Yeah,
Severe anxiety, maybe. I mean,
like a
I'm adding
real,
severe in there, and this was the case after playing with a Ouija board.
or at least that's what they allege.
That is what is alleged.
What kind
Now, where were they playing with a Ouija board, you may ask? We'll find out in just a moment. It says nearly 30 schoolgirls, it was 28, have been hospitalized with anxiety attacks after allegedly playing with a Ouija boards at their school in Colombia.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a class where they were allowed to play with a Ouija board. And it's a place like Colombia,
Yeah.
that would be more that wouldn't they be against something like that?
You would think
What
so.
I mean, if there's 28, that's a lot of people in general.
Yeah,
And if are they all, like, clamoring? Do they all have their hands on the planchette?
right, exactly.
Are
Like,
there multiple Ouija boards?
right, they got little groups going.
Is this like a chessboard sesh where there's, like, multiple tables and there's, like,
Was
multiple
it
groups?
like an after school club or something?
Now, was it 4 groups of 7 or 7 groups of 4?
No idea.
Who knows? But I mean, like, ideally, you would want at least, like, 4 hands, you know,
Mhm.
touching that thing, or 2 people per table per Ouija board. Now, it says here that there were 28 possible cases of anxiety in school students, said Hugo Torres, head of the Galeras Educational Institution in
Mm.
Galeras, where the incident took place. According to the outlet, alarm bells went off after the girls repeatedly suffered signs of fainting, anxiety, and other symptoms at school. And they were subsequently admitted to the municipal hospital accompanied by parents and school faculty. That's so wild.
It's just the asbestos in the air, that's all. It hit 'em all
So
at once.
so what you're saying is that the asbestos was possessed.
There you go. You mean there's a chance? Yes.
Info on the student's diagnosis has yet to be released. So, however, many parents blame the in-school use of Ouija boards.
I've never heard of this description for a Ouija board. I thought it
Yeah,
was
I
hilarious to see that, to read what
Jumanji-esque. What?
pursuit.
That
A
I was thinking of like,
Jumanji-esque pursuit.
yeah, Jumanji-esque
What
pursuit. Well, the
the
first thing that came to mind was Robin Williams.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what? Where? Like, this is not fucking Monopoly or some shit in the jungle.
And I'm kind of miffed
Mhm.
that the person who is writing this article, after describing it as a Jumanji-esque pursuit that uses a sliding pointer, couldn't go just the extra mile to call it the planchette.
You
That's what
know,
it is.
it's yeah, like, jeez.
I mean, they went far enough to go and say that it was created in the U.S. in 1886.
Mhm.
And the Ouija boards have become a fixture in occult lore due to their eligibility to communicate with the dead, and it's also a party trick. Like
Yeah.
people use it for shits.
Yep.
And these are pictures, apparently, allegedly, of
I mean,
I'm
we did.
assuming a could be a faculty member or a parent carrying the student. And then we have this person here who is the head of the school.
Didn't we used to didn't you was it you or I forgot who, someone had a Ouija board, like, but it was like a parody joke one.
Oh, that was me.
That the Ouija
Yeah,
board,
yeah, that
the
was me.
planchette was in the shape, okay, it was you. It was
Yeah,
the
that's
planchette was in the shape of a marijuana
weed
leaf.
leaf, weed leaf, yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Well, I mean, maybe I'll just reiterate the story again. You can check out the rest of the story or the rest of the session, episode. It's in the 20s somewhere, but
Mhm.
you can see it on YouTube as a special Halloween episode, um, where I was shopping at a place called Hastings in McAllen, Texas, and the plan was already to get a Ouija board. That was
Mhm.
the but right next to the official Ouija
Yeah,
board,
by Milton Bradley.
yes, the authentic occult Milton Bradley Ouija board.
100% authentic.
Yeah, made from the bones of like dead babies and stuff.
Mm, mm, mm.
The one right next to it had a planchette that was a weed plant, and it was a green board also.
Yeah.
And apparently, it was made from only the finest hemps
Mm.
and the bones of like birds and stuff like that. So it was very organic.
Yes, there you go. All natural.
And
Very, very
yeah, so
clean.
that was just the one I chose because me being me, I was just like, well, that looks like way more authentic and fun. So I'm gonna use that
Exactly.
one. So yeah,
I remember trying it and just couldn't get it to work for shit. So, I
yeah,
mean,
it was probably broken. I don't know. I'm like,
yeah, I'm sure we were doing something wrong.
yeah,
I bet what they meant us to do was you were supposed to roll up the board and smoke it or something stupid.
yeah, and then ask questions.
There we
That's
go.
what it was. I probably didn't read the instructions properly.
Yeah, we got the process wrong. That's all it was. Oh
You know,
well.
next time, read the instructions. You never know what kind of like
Mm,
special things you need to do to actually get the
mhm.
board functioning.
That's right.
Okay, so
Buzzword.
it also says here, I work in a hospital kiosk, and every day I see 3 or 4 children arrive after fainting. What's going on at this school, man? It must be like no air conditioner or something. So
Yeah.
named one mother. So parents, you have to move, investigate what's happening at school because our children cannot continue in this situation. She added, our children always have a good breakfast, and it cannot be said that what's happening is due to lack of
Uh,
I with that statement alone made me a little suspicious. Like, are you
why
sure they
would
didn't
that's very specific. Why would you think that
right?
it's their fault?
Why do you have to bring that up?
Yeah.
Maybe they're not getting enough water.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe they're not getting enough clean water, and they're not hydrated enough. That could be possibly why they're fainting. I don't know about the anxiety, but fainting, sure. It says, however, Torres has since accused community members of stoking hysteria by spreading unfounded rumors.
Mhm.
Given the reported cases, a series of comments were unleashed to the community that, rather than helping to resolve the situation, led to confusion and an adverse environment for our work, he said. Look,
Mm.
a nice little picture of that. That's
Wow,
a
it looks so welcoming. I just wanna play with it.
It's like, ooh, I want to touch it. Woo.
Nothing. Nope. Okay. Just me.
Now, it says the school is waiting for medical diagnosis to provide further reliable information, explained Torres, who implored the community to avoid making early judgments and diagnoses of their own in the interim.
Call the priest.
Call the priest. Yeah, I was surprised. Like, if they're playing with a Ouija board and there's fainting and whatnot, like, why wasn't the church called to do a
Right.
little cleansing around the
Cast a
school?
spell of their own.
And
Power.
it says here it is unclear when the school plans to update the public on the student's condition, while authorities have not confirmed whether a police investigation is underway. Why? We already know what it is. It's the Ouija boards that
Yeah.
apparently they have stocked up at this school that everyone can play with.
Yeah.
Everyone's fainting randomly.
Maybe
I
they
am kind of curious to see like what their diagnosis to be. Maybe we'll like update later on if there's any more information that they give out. But I personally have not known or read in any other situation where someone was playing with a Ouija board and they
pass out.
fainted or had anxiety.
Nope, me neither.
Possessed, yes.
Not a whole fucking classroom full of.
I mean, if they get possessed, they have like they have like crazy strength. They can fly, they can crawl on walls, they can speak in different languages that are dead languages.
Oh, that's
They
always cool.
can also have like different voices too. Like they have like a voice box.
Oh yeah, they can speak.
Those are actual characteristics of playing with a Ouija board, right?
Sure.
It didn't work for us though.
No.
It didn't. Unfortunately, it didn't work for us, and that's because we followed the rules a little bit. And at some point or another, I believe it was Roland or Daniel, one of y'all, let go of the planchette before I did. So my hands were the only one on the planchette.
Oh,
And
I think it was Daniel.
life has never been the same since.
Oh, for the better.
For the better.
Yeah. No, I don't. I think that was the. I think I had already stepped away, and it was just you and Daniel did not give a shit. So he just pulled his hands off, and you're like, "Oh no, wait, no, you have to say goodbye." And I think he.
Yeah, I mean that's what it says, and
Yeah.
according to the rules of the Ouija board, you never just take your hands off. You have to say goodbye, and then take your hands off, and then put it back in its box of doom with a planchette made from the bones of dead babies. Put it away.
Only the best.
Only the best authentic Ouija boards are for people like us from Valley Strange. Like we deserve only the best Ouija board. Now, what do you think, Roland? What do you think is happening with these girls in their?
I mean, if I'm gonna base it off our experience, I'm gonna just say they're all full of shit.
Why do you think that
they fainted?
Would be fainting.
They could just be faking it. Like kids do that shit, you know. Oh no!
I mean, we're gonna like.
It's gonna be like the fucking Salem witch trials, kind of.
Yeah, I was gonna say call back to that.
Just a bunch of fucking children like pulling shit out of their ass, and I mean, if it gets them out of school,
well, to to be carried and like,
when they're kids.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there, we do have a satanic panic resurgence going on.
Yeah,
and it's not like any kids or parents were in cahoots to make up or accuse people of certain things just
they've been they were lying the whole time. They weren't actually using Ouija boards. They were trying to play D&D. Right. And they fucked it up. They fucked the rules. That's a real problem. They got what they deserve.
I am gonna say that it's possible that they might. I mean, just looking at the school, they might have to have a functioning air conditioning.
Maybe
hot. The 28 people in probably a small, not so great insulated room could possibly cause people to hyperventilate.
All of those Ouija boards were laced with rat poison or something.
So they're just
yeah, they're all sick. I don't know.
I don't know,
Um,
but I
it's
mean,
very strange, but I mean, if you wanna just go with the standard mass hysteria, like, I don't see why that would necessarily be out of the question.
yeah, I
There
mean,
really isn't
possible.
enough information, I wanna say, uh, to really say much past that. It's either some kind of mass, freak out, or they're all full of shit. And in my experience with students, like I'm kind of erring on the side of being absolutely full of shit because I know I was. So like I wouldn't- I'm just gonna assume the best worst in everyone else because
Yeah,
shit,
of course, man.
go
I
get them.
mean, you growing up, like sometimes you were full of shit.
Oh yeah,
I'll
still
say
am.
the same for myself. You grow up, especially if you don't want your parents to blame you for anything.
Mm,
It's possible you might concoct or just act out in a way where like they're more worried about you than pissed at you. You know what I mean?
always make sure to have a steady gaze, eye to eye, shake firm handshake.
Now,
Hallmarks of an honest person.
on to our next article. We we're going from like kids possibly either being affected by Ouija board or by outside sources, environment, whatever,
Yep.
to a person who is taking death to a whole new level, right?
Oh yes, 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 yes.
And by that I mean he's making coffins into barbecue grills, and
Yeah.
that is kind of fucking cool.
Yeah, I kinda like that.
So we have here, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Cough
Coffin,
nasal, sure, let's go for that.
nasal, coffin nasal. I don't know why. Why would it be called that?
I have no idea.
This article is from Inquirer.net, only the
Mhm,
finest sources. It says a man from North Cotabato, all right, name alone already is weird, who
mhm.
skillfully transformed a casket into one of a kind barbecue grill, recently went viral on social media for his clever creation.
Yeah,
Last February 27th, Vincent Levi Bayona Dolatine, is that how you say his name?
sure.
Who runs a funeral home business in Jesus Christ, man, where are these people from? Picagawayan, Pikawayan town, posted photos and a video featuring the casket grill that they assembled at home. Jesus Christ, man. Can you read that part right there? It says coffin. Iahon
Coffin.
Sabagagagan.
Okay, so that's not in English, alright. Dubbed
Yeah, I
coffin
know.
grill,
I know.
Dolatines Coffin Grill, which is an imported Matthews casket from the United States. Has a cover, a charcoal smoker made of stainless steel, and is equipped with angle bars for it to stand as well as storage space on the side. Those
I'm gonna
fucking things are expensive, dude. Like, I saw this, I was like, "Holy shit, did he buy that? There's no way."
Oh, he runs a funeral home.
Ah, okay.
The man's
Got
got caskets for days.
yeah, caskets for days.
This is like a weekend thing for him. He's like, you know what? He's like, I'm only picking the finest wood
Mhm.
coffin and like really turning it up, you
Really
know.
insulates the grill.
But
Slow,
a bit of
go
curiosity,
slow, baby.
a bit of curiosity.
Mhm.
That meat, is that a person's body parts?
I mean, it looks like chicken to me, but sure. Uh,
They say it tastes like chicken.
it's what was it called? We called it long pork.
Does he have a bottle of whiskey in this picture here?
Either that or it's a beer. I think it's a bottle of
Um,
whiskey. Yeah, because
says
there's
he
an ice
told
chest right there.
okay.
Sorry,
He
go
says
for
he
it.
told the Inquirer in an interview that the dancing pallbearers video that went viral during the pandemic inspired his concept for a coffin grill. It took him 2 days to build the coffin grill with the help of his cousins, Ronnie, man, I'm not saying these people's names, Ronnie and Taloy.
Sure.
Dulatin confirmed that the coffin they transformed into functional cooking equipment has never been used. Not
I
from what
love
I'm
that it
seeing
felt the
here.
need to say that, dude.
Not what I'm seeing here.
Like, oh no, we
The
done
unique
this
coffin grill has received overwhelming approval from its
from
netizens.
netizens,
Jesus fucking Christ.
from nerds on the internet.
Yeah, nerds on the internet with his post garnering more than 9,400 shares as of this writing. And when asked
Good
if he
for
was
him.
planning to venture into the grilling business soon using his coffin nasal, Darlington responded in jest. Oh my god, I can't.
That's not English.
I
Don't worry
can't.
about it.
I don't know. It says. I'm assuming in parentheses here is what he's
It's
saying. It says my coffin grill is just for personal use, and I have no plans to start a grilling business. Perhaps no one would eat at my grilling business since I come from a funeral home. See, that's what I'm saying.
maybe.
That could
I
be.
don't know, like, if you made it like a goth a goth bar and grill, maybe that would
Let's
probably
see the video that's here. Let's see if it might anything. Ah, ads, ads. There you go.
mhm. Ha, that's
And
pretty cool.
why not English subtitles?
I don't know.
Why do I feel? I mean, it looks interesting. Why do I feel like the coffin itself is gonna catch on fire at some point?
Yeah, because that's probably what'll happen eventually. Like, I
Right
imagine.
next to a fence, the whole thing's gonna fucking go up.
Yeah,
I mean, it could be the thing that makes the best barbecue, though.
it's a cool looking grill. It's
Pretty
probably I'd hate to have to
I
move
like
the
how he has the cooler and the foot part.
side. Uh,
You're a family of people who embalm the dead and stuff. They're all good.
yep. I mean, it's just a pretty standard grill on there. I don't think they can even close it while it's being used, or it didn't look like it. So
Yeah, because, I mean, it just looked like wood, right? Like, it was
yeah, it's just got like a wood plank on the top there. So whatever. But that's still pretty cool.
I mean,
Oh
it is
no, they
not
do, they
made
do.
stuff,
Okay, my bad.
but they did hint at it.
Awesome. Cool.
I bet you if Gene Simmons gets a gander at this video here, we might see a Kiss Casket Barbecue Grill.
Kiss Casa Grill. Yeah, he probably would try to turn something like that into a freaking product. I mean, if he could, if man, like Gene Simmons can make money out of anything
He can.
somehow.
He will.
We should add him at some point. Like, hey, look, dude, what did you think? He's like, oh, I've already got 3. Well, fuck you.
You know what? I feel like he'd venture into, like, just turning a bunch of things into, like, barbecue grill, barbecue flavored, Kiss,
Yeah.
barbecue utensils. I'm pretty sure there's gotta be a Kiss apron for barbecuing out there
Oh,
somewhere.
sure.
Um, I'm pretty sure there's, like, a Gene Simmons mask that you can wear while you're
Yeah, I was
barbecuing.
gonna say, like, isn't there like I'm surprised there wasn't like a Gene Simmons COVID mask with just the tongue sticking out, you know?
I'm pretty sure if there's the fact that we just even thought about it, it's out there somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
If anything, our mind allowed it to
Man is a
come
marketing
into existence.
genius.
Would you buy one or what, Roland?
Yes.
You go, not only will I buy it, I would ask to be barbecued in it when I'm dead.
Sure.
You know, you don't have to put my body parts on the grill. That's sick. But you can put my cremated ashes in the
You just
bottom.
use that to season the food.
Well, use it as flavoring. You need ravelering
It's gonna be
in your
very,
food.
very fatty, salty, and
It's really gonna coat your meat in a very, like, nice glaze, a brown glaze.
for some reason, it's gonna taste like a filet-fish sandwich.
We just had one too many. They go, "This fucking chicken tastes like tartar sauce, motherfucker."
Yeah, I don't know. Only one way to
Alright.
find out. Just have to plan for it.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that if you were to
We
have,
only
like,
got one chance to get this right, Ray.
I have a feeling if you have this in your backyard and you're barbecuing it, there's gonna be a lot of people that would question whether or not they'd wanna eat your food if you're barbecuing out of a
I tried at
casket.
least. I at least I'd be curious. Like, yeah.
I'll be honest with you. As much as a cool idea as this seems, if I were to go to someone's house and they had a casket and they were cooking out of it, I question the food a little bit,
Mhm.
just a little bit. Um, I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know, like
surprised.
just the idea of the casket and like
You know,
dead
I
body
kinda
and all that kind of
I
stuff.
kinda surprised something like this hasn't been tried sooner. I don't know, it just seems like a very metalhead thing to do.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, it's just like, why
Why
what is it?
I feel like if we're thinking metalheadish, I am kind of curious as to why or if they even tried it. This seems like something Pantera would do. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah,
Seems like a Pantera thing. Well,
like they're
obviously,
screaming.
we'll never know now. So,
Nope. Oh, well.
all right. Speaking of coffins and death and whatnot, we're gonna go to our next article where an American scientist explained why death does not exist. So now we
Oh,
can
yeah.
really use those coffins for barbecuing.
I mean, I wasn't really sure about this article. The guy looks like he's trying to give a TED talk, but
But I believe this person is a pretty credible. I don't know if it is this guy.
I
I
don't
mean,
either.
it says
This
it's a
seems an
63-year-old
interesting,
scientist who's made a huge contribution to the study of
yeah.
stem cells used to restore organs. He's a very well-renowned scientist.
Mhm.
Now, I mean, scientists are not infallible. I mean, they are flawed human beings as well. But I mean, we'll go over the article and just see what he had to say, what he has to say about death not existing.
Mhm.
Now, apparently, the phobia of death is I don't know if you can see this. Roland says the terrible phobia of death in the scientific language sounds like
Thanatophobia.
thanatophobia, and to some extent, it is found in almost everyone. I mean, everyone, mostly everyone, majority of human beings in this world have a profound fear
Fear
of death.
of death. Yeah,
We don't really know what's on the other side unless you're even if you are a person who thinks they know what's on the other side, you still have a bit of a fear of
uh-huh.
that because some people don't know if they're going to heaven or to hell, or for some people there's purgatory, or some people they don't
Some
even
others.
reincarnation. They can just reincarnate into something really, really shitty.
Yeah.
Who knows? So let's read this article and see what's going on. Perhaps death is the biggest mystery for mankind because no one has yet been able to find out what happens after its onset. However, there are many different theories on the topic of death, and the author of one of the most interesting is the American scientist Robert Lanza. In his opinion, death does not really exist. People invented it themselves. Okay.
I mean, that goes without saying of most things.
Now, he's the author of numerous books that touches on this topic of cloning.
Mhm.
And for his merits, he even won a place in the ranking of the 100 most influential people in the world, according to Time magazine.
Eh, okay.
I mean, say what you will about Time magazine. I mean, they have had people on the cover that have been somewhat questionable
Mm,
on who they feel like are like people of the year, or the person of the year, some shit like that.
right.
So,
But others not, a bit more credible. I
yeah,
mean, I wanna so this the guy's theory is interesting, and I wanna err on the side of giving him the benefit here of the doubt because as it is anyways, none of this is provable to begin with.
right.
So,
I mean,
why
no
not?
one has gone to the other side and come back to tell the tale. So,
Mm,
again,
not
all
not particularly.
speculation here. Now, says in 2007, the scientists created a concept of the so-called biocentrism,
Mhm.
and we are all used to the believing that life arose due to the existence of the universe. But the theory of Robert Lanza completely reverses this idea. In the term centrism, sorry, the scientists put the idea that we living beings are the center of everything that surrounds us. We even create time and the universe itself. It says death is no exception. According to Robert Lanza, death exists for us only because we begin to identify ourselves with our body from early childhood. After all, we all believe that after stopping the work of all of our organs, the same terrible and unknown death will inevitably await us? Or that's question.
Mm.
So, but the scientists assure that even with the inoperability of the body itself, the human mind continues to work and simply moves on to another world. Now, I don't know about biocentrism. He does have a book that I'm kind of curious to read.
Yeah.
His, mind you, there are lots of books on the afterlife, and there's a lot of people who claim to know or have seen the afterlife and come back to tell. For instance, there is a book, especially I assume if you are a Christian uh, believer, Heaven is Real. There's a book about it, I believe, about a kid who allegedly went to heaven and saw stuff, and they claim to be like an actual account of what heaven is or that heaven does exist. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of books on life after death and all that kind of stuff. But here, I never really heard of this particular thing, but I kind of, in my own,
He
uh,
uses very sort of basic, like a very basic understanding or explanation of science that most people already know about. Like right in there, where according to him, it's just energy, and as per the laws of physics, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It just shifts from one state to another.
right,
You know, when we die, there's a break in our linear connection of times and places, and strangely, he says our linear concept of time means nothing to nature. I mean, okay, yeah, I can kind of, that kind of tracks, but again, like those are very basic explanations to. I mean, considering he's mentioning like quantum physics, and it's like, okay, that's
right. I
a
mean,
bit
so basically, he's
there.
proposing that whenever we do die, we don't, um, we just our subconscious, our consciousness moves on to another world.
Right.
So, so we kind of just keep on going. I'm assuming as ourselves, or like another
Yes.
version of ourselves.
Basically, he sort of does the multiple realities theory, saying that yeah, where someone in one world makes a decision, so you know another version of you made another decision in another world,
Right.
and if that decision kills you, like if you don't
Yeah.
survive that decision, your consciousness, goes, and it travels into the other universe and just merges with the version of you that survives, and you just keep
Right.
going, sort of thing. Um, in a word, human consciousness is immortal and exists outside of space and time. Is what they're trying to go with here. Um, because human consciousness is an energy, it does not disappear and cannot be destroyed. It can only move endlessly and change its shape, as he postulates. um,
Yeah, and it says that ac-
mm,
according to biocentrism, space and
mhm.
time are not the hard objects we think. Wave your hand through the air, and if you take everything away, what's left? Nothing. The same thing applies for time. You can't see anything through the bone that surrounds your brain. It says everything you see. I'm gonna highlight this here. Everything you see and experience right now is a whirl of information occurring in your mind. Space and time are simply the tools for putting everything together.
So he gets very philosophical on this, but
Well, I mean, technically, I mean that's kind of like where you have
also,
to go if you don't have, if you can't like go like per data.
yeah, yeah.
In
But
this,
like in this sense, this is like very just esoteric kind of stuff where that he's talking about. Um, I don't know. It's almost a. I don't know how scientific that is. It seems more
right.
like his a form of, like what he's like trying to combine science with like logical reasoning of some sort.
Well, I
And
mean, I think the only way we're gonna ever figure if this is accurate enough is if we're able to break through
mhm,
another dimension and like people can like either see themselves or someone like they can see themselves on
mhm,
in another plane of existence, I guess.
yeah,
Um, I mean, that's probably, I mean, I don't know how that would happen, obviously, but that's obviously the only way we're going to prove that this is real.
lots of drugs.
Lots of drugs.
No,
And bringing me to a point that I wanted to share. is that when I was reading this, it kind of seemed somewhat similar to dreams that I've had. Um,
Mhm.
I've had them like every so often throughout these past couple of years. After my dad had passed away, I would say probably about a year or two after that, I started having these dreams where I was myself like in my house, but the house had not changed because we had remodeled the house at some point. But
Yeah.
the house still had the same old carpet, the same old walls, the same old kitchen, like everything was the same. But and of course my dad was alive at this point, but he was a different person.
Mhm.
Like he wasn't have the same characteristics and stuff.
Mhm.
And having this dream was I was kind of confused because I confronted him about this, about him like being alive and stuff like that. And he basically told me like, "What are you talking about?" Like, and like nothing's happened. And he was kind of more of a jerk.
Yeah.
This version of himself. And I was just kind of like, this is strange. That's weird, right? Mind you, the dream has continued numerous times since that first time. And every time I dream that I'm like the story itself has progressed. Like
Uh-huh.
it's not me reliving the same dream. It's me going into that particular version of myself. And like the everything I've stepped it off and I've woken up and things have just progressed further.
Mhm.
Like I can recount this thing, and then like my mom will tell me this different thing, and I know what's happened up until this point, right? And then I'll sleep again, then I'll wake up, and then the story has just progressed. Like life has just continued to happen. I know what's happened up until this point, but obviously I haven't experienced it because I just kind of like wake up in this particular part of it.
Sure.
And he mentioned here that like it's kind of like a TV show. Says you
Mhm.
experience different stories, and so, like, it's the same story, instead of I'm experiencing, like, a certain TV series, and I'm kinda jumping in at different episodes, you know what I mean?
Yep. I
That's
get
what it feels like, and it's happened numerous times, and it continues to happen to this day, so, it's just a weird scenario, like, if I'm in a deep sleep, and I wake up into this dream, and the story has just continued on, like, it's on the next season or some shit, and
Quick, change the channel. I was just waiting for a good moment.
But that's what kinda seems like when he was talking about this, it kind of made
Mhm.
me think of that. And I was thinking to myself, I go, "Am I just waking up in a different parallel universe of my life where things aren't, like, outrageously different?"
Or is this the dream?
Is this a dream? Who knows, right? But it's just strange because, like, normally in dreams, I mean, you'll wake up and either you'll get those, like,
Yeah.
kinda choppy images, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
I just wake up and it's just, like, a consistent thing happening. Like, it's all happening in real time kinda thing. Then I just wake up, and then I'll go to sleep, and then, like, couple of weeks later, it'll happen again. But I always thought to myself, "Goes that like" and I know, like, whenever, like, people dream, they say, like, you kind of, like people have, like they astral project into other areas, other dimensions, other planes of existence and shit like that.
That's one
Now
idea, yeah.
now, how valid that is in my scenario or, like, what I'm dreaming, I mean, I'm just kinda speculating here, but it kinda makes sense if you're gonna put those kinda things to
Right,
my
if you wanna give
characters.
this
Right.
some credence. Yeah. I mean, sure. And that I wouldn't say that's too out of the question because I mean that's strange enough in and of itself that I don't think it's very common for people to sort of much less have the same dream as opposed to like one that continues on and you can it recurs in that sense as its own story. So
Yeah, so, I mean, I just thought that was interesting in my sense, like, putting some kind of reasoning as to why I was dreaming in that way because I never dreamed that way before.
uh
Most of the dreams I have were either, like, the typical choppy dream, like,
yeah.
doesn't make sense or you're doing some like, you're flying or floating, whatever the fuck you're doing. But this one was the only dream that kind of made sense as I was waking up in the dream,
Mhm.
you know, which
Sure.
was it was strange. But because I don't dream often,
Mhm.
and when I do dream, it is like it's either that or some choppy shit. That's usually when I'm been drinking or something. The chop shit just
Uh,
out of nowhere.
I feel the need for an experiment
See,
in
well,
that
that's
case.
at some point or another, Valley Strange is gonna go into like very deep, somewhat philosophical ways of exploring topics. You know, whenever we go over astral projection or we go over like what DMT is, because I mean I have books on that as well, and it's
Oh
just kind of
boy.
interesting to like explore.
Why don't we just
Um,
ask Joe Rogan? He's the
yeah,
foremost world's
you
expert.
know, Joe Rogan experience.
Yeah.
But I mean, like those things, as cliche as Joe Rogan has made that particular topic of him, like like telling every guest that he has, "Hey, you
Yeah.
ever been doing DMT? You
Tried it
ever
so
do
many
DMT?"
times. Wow, such an experience.
Yeah.
Yes. Dude.
It makes me miss the days of him talking to Doug Stanhope or somebody.
I miss the days of him on Fear Factor.
I miss the days of
That's
him
what
on the Man Show.
the Man Show.
That
Back
last
when
season
Jimmy
with him and
Kimmel
Doug
was
Stanhope.
funny, right?
Yeah. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that because it kind of made a little sense when I was reading this because I never heard of the term biocentrism.
No, me neither.
And it's kind of interesting to see where a scientist that has some credibility to discuss something like this because I mean that also this kind of theory could also put a kibosh on religious ideology and stuff like that in the sense of what happens after you die. Like no one's going to heaven, no one's going to purgatory, no one's going to hell. But you
you
might
just
be reincarnated as yourself in a really shitty scenario.
it's a douchier version of yourself, and
But you
uh,
know, it's kind of also reminded me like it always comes to mind when I'm talking about stuff like this is the movie Risk Cutters. You know, when they end
oh
up
yeah, man, I
in
love that
themselves and
movie.
they end up like in a really
They're in the
shitty
afterlife.
version of their life, you know, the afterlife. Yeah, like
Everything was
that.
like run down, and like nobody has money, and
Yeah,
I
like
don't
you basically if you've
Tom Waits is an
unalived yourself,
angel.
you end up in a real like a slum
Mhm.
version with other people who have done the same, which apparently is like almost like a whole
Yeah,
village's worth of people
yep.
who have done it, and you just get put into some really terrible situations after the fact. Not terrible. They're not terrible. They're just like not fun. Like it just makes your life worse than it was when you were alive. Yeah, which is ironic, I guess.
Yeah, somehow, and then in the sense of that movie, it ends up turning into a fucking romance. But
Yeah, man.
I do
Pretty
like
good.
that movie a lot.
It's fun though. It's fun.
Yeah.
So on to our last article. Roland, I don't know if you
What do
want to take the lead on this one, which is
we got?
we've had a little bit of a surge on cattle killer deaths, cattle
Oh,
deaths going
definitely,
around. There's something
definitely.
out there who is killing the cattle or something, and I'll bring the article up here in just a second,
Yeah, you do that.
and you can
I'm
kind
just
of
reading up.
read through it. It says on the trail of an unseen killer, questions linger over unexplained cattle deaths in Colorado. It's from March 13th. It's earlier this week.
Here we go. Let me just bring it up on my end. Here we go. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, so whatever caused the sudden deaths of dozens of cattle in northwestern Colorado late last year remains elusive, according to officials who entered their investigation into the matter last month. This was recent. The unexplained incidents received widespread media attention, giving rise to speculations involving everything from wolf depredation and soil-based pathogens to stirring but unfounded claims of a mysterious creature that left no tracks responsible for the killings. Uh, However, an investigation by the debrief, debrief
The name of
based on
the website here.
yeah, Based on documents obtained through Colorado Open Records Act requests, as well as interviews with investigators who probe the mysterious deaths, have revealed new details about the incidents that perplexed state officials and local cattle farmers in Colorado's western slope last year. Uh, the ordeal began in early October 2022 with the discovery of several calf carcasses strewn about the 13,000 contiguous deeded acres that comprise the family owned and operated LK Ranch, located 8 miles southeast of Meeker, Colorado. Uh, Bordering Colorado's scenic White River National Forest, one of the country's most well visited national parks, the ranch is operated by the Klingle-Smith family, a well known, respected mainstay of the Meeker community and past recipients of a Wildlife Landowners of the Year recognition by Colorado Parks and Wildlife. Um, so they go on to just say that the family's pretty cool. They're nice people. They work hard. They consider them as role models. And on October 4th of last year, the family discovered a total of 19 calf carcasses on their property, along with the remains of one adult cow. 18 of the calves were all located within just 1.5 miles of one another. And Colorado Parks and Wildlife and U.S. Department of Agriculture Wildlife Services were quickly notified. Um, let's see, the people go on to say that, just reiterating that they were notified about some dead cattle after they, during an interview. So they went out there to visit the place where the remains were located. Several carcasses had tails missing and marks consistent with canine teeth. The family would later report in an update on the investigation that appeared on November 28th, 2022. While the carcasses appeared to display hemorrhaging in locations where CPW investigators are trained to look for signs of depredation by canines, the possibility that wolves might have been involved presented unique challenges for investigators trying to determine whether an animal was responsible for some of the killings. I mean, it just they're so like apparently they're mostly used to dealing with bears and mountain lions. Wolves apparently would be a new issue for them. Um, the
But I
local
mean,
dis-
would
Mhm.
wolves like kill that many
No,
cats at one like?
I don't. I that no, that would be strange.
Because I
There's
mean,
no.
how many wolves would have to be there to
Yeah,
fucking do that?
lots, a lot. Like, because that's. I mean, that's a lot of meat, and uh, I mean, I don't know. I would expect if they were wolves, coming on calves, there'd be a ton of noise for that.
Right.
They like 19 calves screaming all at once. Like, I don't know.
Or even like they mentioned the cow itself. I mean,
And the idea too is that because like wolves are pack hunters, they're gonna gang up on these things one at a time. It's not like they're just gonna divide. I don't think, unless the little I know, it's not like they're just gonna all split up and each of them goes after one calf at a time.
right. So I
Thing
mean that would mean like for them to kill that many at once or like in a
is
short amount
very,
of time.
very, very unlikely, and like just it's like even the logistics of it is just hard to imagine because they're going to go after one of these things and like the others are just going to scatter instantly.
Right.
The cows are not going to be sticking around for this shit unless they were in a pen or something. I don't know. Um
Yeah, but even that, I mean, I don't think wolves are gonna kill just to kill.
no, they
You
don't.
know,
That's not how that,
they get what they want and they fucking move on. You know, like
yeah, that's not how that works. They're not cats. They're not house cats, which absolutely would, because they're assholes and that's why we love them. So yeah, the wildlife officer, apparently they felt the need to point out to their that wasn't some rookie or newbie or whatever. Some they've been on the job for over 20 years. Um, so they carried out some necropsies on them to determine their cause of death. On October 7th, an additional calf carcass was discovered, this time in the Wilson pasture area along the East Fork of Flag Creek, according to a partially redacted document providing a timeline of the discoveries obtained. 2 days later, another carcass was discovered at West Miller Creek. Over the course of the next 2 weeks, the total number of dead calves would climb to 42, including two additional deaths resulting from six sick calves. found by the Klingelsmith family on October 9th and believed to have been suffering from brisket disease, a condition found in cattle residing at high altitudes that sometimes results in heart failure. Um, so the investigation continues, and as they discovered more, of the remains, they apparently found one commonality with it. With only a handful seem to show what the CPW officials believe to be signs of wolf depredation. The three individuals involved, along with the landowner, decided that there were some injuries on a handful of these calves, like 4 or 5 of them, not all 18. A lot of those dead calves didn't show any physical marks on the outside, but there were a handful of them they determined were consistent with wolf attacks. That doesn't mean that they're saying that wolves did it. Um,
Yeah, I know this goes on to like talk about like I guess a history of
yeah,
like wolves and stuff like that with cattlemen.
right,
But you know, we've heard of something similar to this before, and we have like conspiracy claims here. Says
hmm
as the investigations continued, Colorado officials remained baffled by the strange cattle deaths. Despite the questions that remained, a handful of the incidents did appear to present indications of canine activity. On October 7th, 2022, revealing to the public that investigations into possible wolf depredations of the U.S. Forest Service land in the Meeker area were underway.
right. Um,
Roland, let's just cut the shit here, all right? Let's just cut the shit. All right. We know what did this.
it's a goddamn chupacabra
Chupacabra's
again,
back, right?
again,
He's back
again.
again.
Like we were talking about this before we started. Like, oh, it's this shit again. Yeah, I mean, like,
It's the Chupacabra coming back like LL Cool J, going back to cattle, 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 going back to cattle. I don't think so. I had that
mhm,
in my back pocket. I had to use it, right?
just get it out of your system. It's all right. It's all right. I understand.
Look, every time I hear something about cattle, like multiple cattle being killed, or like I personally, I mean, I'm no game warden, I'm no animal expert.
Mm,
Um, I always think that it's kind of easy whenever these investigations occur because usually animals that do hunt have a particular way of doing so. So like
right.
their characteristics are similar
So
throughout.
none of this talks about because, like, the only thing that these analyses go over are the remains of the animals. They don't
Right,
actually talk about, okay, well, did you guys see any signs of wolves in the area? Like, did you see any tracks? Did you see like
right.
just like any trails? Like, there should be some evidence. I think they do mention about. Oh, I think they do mention they talk a bit about wolf poop for a little while. I think. Um, talking about like if it's the right size or something like that. Let me see. Yeah, so they were trying to look for shit and tracks, right? But uh, it doesn't say anything about whether they actually found anything. They do note that there are no wolf reintroductions that are taking place in the area, so
Mhm.
there's nothing related to that. Um, so yeah, I
So
don't know.
I mean, just to say that they still really don't know exactly what is doing this because I mean, or maybe they do and they want to keep it under the hush hush.
I mean,
Like
like, yeah.
Chupa
So
wrote
most of this seems to focus again on the wool, the fucking the calves, the remains.
about.
From the little they mention here, it doesn't seem that they found anything in the surrounding area. And again, like I would have assumed something like that, would have been obvious, or rather just apparent, very, very apparent. Because if it's a pack of wolves, it's not you're going to find that kind of indication. I would, I don't know. It's just otherwise, It's the goddamn chupacabra.
Choops on the loose, man. Troops
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
loose.
Just in time for that the chupacabra movie as well, right? You
Is
saw
there a
that as
Chupacabra
well.
movie? There is
Yeah,
coming, right? Yeah.
it's called Chupa. Yeah, don't even get me started on that fucking name. Why would
Uh,
they do
that
so?
that is the kind of going through this article. We're trying to like just give a little preview that we are actually going to be discussing the infamous Chupacabra in our next episode. Not a
Mhm.
strange news episode, but an actual discussion in the podcast of the Chupacabra. Going to deep dive. Going to
Mhm.
deep dive the Chup. I like that name. Deep dive the Chup.
Jesus. Yeah.
Deep dive the Chup. Um, if anyone out there has any Chupacabra stories, or I mean, let us know. Like, you can tell us. Well,
Sure.
see if we can read it on the,
We'll keep your identity a secret.
or you can always leave us a voicemail on Anchor telling us your story, and then we'll play it on the episode.
Oh, geez. Try to keep it rated PG.
Rated PG? No. We're all rated R, my man. Like,
Uh, that's all right. We'll bleep out the slurs then.
yeah, we have particular capabilities now, like this. We
There you
can
go.
bleep shut out. We can bleep the out. You see?
Right, there you go. What was that? Ray, we can't say that. You're gonna get us canceled.
I'm gonna say whatever the I want, man. See?
Yeah.
We can
Yeah,
do that now.
Mr. Tough Guy. Mm.
Mr. Tough Guy. All right.
Protecting yourself from the censors.
Yeah. We're gonna get that YouTube algorithm to let
Yeah.
us just give us a few minutes, please.
um. Yeah.
But yeah, I
So
mean that's I guess I don't
yeah,
know. Was
most
there
of the
anything else in
story,
this article?
like they sort of talk about a few other like possible ideas. Um. But again, like their main, what seemed to be their main theory, had to do with wolves. And then, but the problem with that is that, even apparently even the remains that they found that had, canid markings on them were very, degraded. So nothing apparently is very conclusive.
Right.
They were trying to look at just like any kinds of, um, like poisonous plants in the area, maybe some kind of like pathogens in contaminated soils, but it doesn't seem like there's anything that really fits their motives, I guess, or
Talking about the wolves' motives, right?
yes, yeah. I don't know where the hell I was going with that. My point is like they're just nothing else seemed to make sense for them. And I'm just skimming through the last of it here, and no, like they do go out to talk about how this has been happening since the 70s, which we already mentioned, the livestock deaths and mutilations, um, uh, of which as well have been, Colorado is has also known for quite a few of those.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. So is New Mexico and Arizona. Well, that whole area kind of
I
sort
mean,
of
some of that stuff has been attributed to aliens,
aliens. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the cattle mutilations and stuff like that. I mean, that was for mysterious cattle deaths, like from the past. I know they attributed that to like aliens
Right.
like, mutilating their cattle and whatnot. And
Bringing
then
them
at some point
up.
or another, the chupacabra came about, and that was the cattle mutilator or the goat
Yeah,
sucker.
it migrated from Puerto Rico over into southern Mexico, and then just went right up into the
The
border,
doggy paddled its ass all the way over here.
and then it crossed the river
Mhm.
into Colorado, and I guess that's where it settled, or
I
something.
mean, it's not to say that the chupacabra is not sexually active.
Maybe,
I
maybe
mean,
he
he's
maybe he started
out
a
there
family.
making
Who knows?
chupa babies.
Yeah. Otherwise, like he's gonna be pretty old at this point. Otherwise, what would that be like in his 50s or something? At
Yeah, I
least
mean, he's not
17.
doing this dog years shit, man. He's out there
Uh,
living real lives.
they
He's
they
probably
did.
partially human, you know. Like think of
Mm.
like the movie The Omen, and like how Damien was created from a jackal and a woman. This is just the opposite.
So the jokes continue, I guess. Since then, there have been more than 1,500 of these mutilations alleged, reported in 22 U.S. states. Um, and people have gone on to, think or try to blame this on secretive government research or satanic cults. But
Oh, we were talking about satanic cults in this too. That's why.
uh, yeah, yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, like there's really nothing
You know, if people
clear.
would read the Satanic Bible, it would save them some time and not
Mhm.
have to attribute it to this nonsense because
Yeah,
according to Anton LaVey, Satanism as
nothing to do with
modern
Satan.
Satanism, modern day Satanism, doesn't do sacrifices,
Nope,
nor animals, nor human sacrifices.
nope. It's like actually, it's the opposite. I'm sure they love their pets.
Yeah, pretty sure he had kitties.
Yeah, yeah, probably. But yeah, so this article goes on to just sort of go, and it ends exactly as all of these kinds of articles end, inconclusive.
Yeah, I mean, that's every article that we've talked about here today, and that's probably most that we're going to talk about from here on out, unless there's some sort of definitive answer regarding UFOs and the government and what they're disclosing to us.
Yeah, they do have some
Um,
photos if you want to check out the article.
yeah, again, we'll link all the articles down below in the description, so you can check them out yourself,
Mhm.
read a little bit thoroughly, and check out the links that are connected to it as well.
A lot of them they try to, like I said, they try to settle on some kind of bacterial infection, that sort of thing.
So we'll
You
see.
know,
We never know.
try to use using that science.
The investigation continues.
Yep. I mean, there's always another year. Let's see what we can find.
Yeah, for sure.
Because this was last October, November. So
And it's just reported recently too. So I mean, that's
yeah. I mean, because it was an ongoing investigation that they've been trying to go through, and as you and I have said, this ain't the first time this stuff's happened,
right.
and I don't know. Yeah, want to find. I was curious to know if anyone's had any of this. These sorts of things happen here in the valley.
I don't know, but I'm kind of curious to find out if there's any sort of
Yeah, 'cause there's.
chupacabra type or like cattle killings or goat
I
murders.
don't know. I don't know that I've ever came
Yeah.
across any. At
Well,
least not.
we'll do some light investigations
Yeah.
whenever we do our episode or whenever the episode comes together.
Mhm.
Um, so I mean, I think that's it for us tonight, Roland.
Yeah.
Um, we'll have all the articles linked down below. If you want to support us in any way, you can always go and buy a shirt. Go to Patreon,
Toss it.
www.patreon something patreon.com/Mocha Studios. That's what it is. I always forget what it is.
Yeah.
You can buy shirts at Teespring or T Public. And if you want to just throw us a buck or two, that's cool. If not,
Yeah.
that's cool too.
Always use gas money and beer.
Um, and also, we do request that you like and subscribe
Yes,
on this
please.
video and share it. Share the
Yeah.
news with people.
I don't know if you got something more interesting or some sort of comment on this. Please share it with us.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for us, and we'll see you next time. We'll see you on the next Chupacabra discussion.
Should be fun. See you.
More cryptids to come. People like cryptids.
Yeah.
It's our most popular episode, Cryptids of Texas.
Cool. It's fun
Pretty
stuff.
awesome.
Gotta
All right.
keep it.
We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.
Blue midgets come into my house. Hey, it's ridiculous. guy who had some kind of a rectal probe. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Ridiculous.